You often wake up with several ideas moving through your mind at the same time. None of them feel wrong. None of them feel complete either. One part of you wants to learn something new, while another part feels uneasy for not finishing what you started before. Quietly, almost without noticing, you ask yourself a familiar question. Why can't I just choose one path and stay with it? This question doesn't come from laziness, it comes from tension. You feel pulled in different directions, not because you lack discipline, but because your attention doesn't naturally collapse into a single point. Instead of one clear desire, you experience multiple meaningful ones at the same time. Over time, this creates guilt. You start believing that consistency means narrowing yourself down, and because you struggle to do that, you assume something is wrong with you. But psychology shows that this internal conflict isn't a flaw, it's a mismatch. A mismatch between how your brain explores the world and how modern systems expect people to function. Before we talk about solutions, it's important to understand the pattern underneath this feeling. Because once you see it clearly, the confusion begins to lose its power. In personality psychology, people like this score high on a trait called openness to experience. This trait is strongly linked to curiosity, imagination, and pattern recognition. High openness brains don't just enjoy novelty, they neurologically respond to it more strongly. New ideas release more dopamine. Unfamiliar concepts activate wider neural networks. Exploration literally feels rewarding. This is why repetition can feel draining for you, even when the task is meaningful. Your brain isn't optimized for staying inside one narrow lane. It's optimized for scanning, connecting, and expanding. Cognitive science shows that these minds naturally move between ideas, searching for relationships rather than endpoints. The problem begins when society treats specialization as maturity. You're told that growth means choosing one identity and committing to it permanently. But your brain doesn't experience identity as something fixed. It experiences it as something fluid. When you force permanence onto a system designed for movement, tension appears, not because you're broken, but because the rules don't match the wiring. When your internal tendencies clash with external expectations, the brain experiences cognitive dissonance. On one side, you perceive multiple futures. On the other, you're pressured to lock into one. This unresolved conflict shows up emotionally as anxiety, restlessness, or a persistent sense of being behind. Neuroscience helps explain why. People with many interests often show strong interaction between the default mode network, responsible for imagination and internal simulation, and the executive control network, responsible for